It's my favorite day of the month. New bike day. Just kidding, kind of. What up? So the Evil sold. I sold the frame, fork, wheels, and dropper. And then I got some new parts that I've been saving up for another bike that I was gonna build. And I'm gonna throw them on this. So this is the Scor 4060. I bought it as a GX build. Pretty insane value, and that's something I do want to talk about. The value is, I mean, the prices of bikes are getting insane. Santa Cruz Yetis, their frames are like $4,200. Evils, like a GX Evil is like $7,200, and 2 years ago they were $57. So this really hits a really good price point. One of the reasons why I got this bike. I'm going to get into that a little bit more. This is going to be a long one, so freaking crack a cold one because I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to go over a complete parts of how I'm going to build this up and why and how and every which way. This is a really versatile bike, part of why I went with it. So let's get into this. Why did I sell the Evil? So first of all, if you guys are new to the channel, I tried to do reviews, didn't really work out for me. I'm not really great at reviews, but I am good at and full disclosure, I buy everything myself. I get little deals here and there, but nothing major. Like I'm talking about your, backcountry, you get a little coupon code, so stuff like that. I mean, I get the same deals as all you guys would get, and I buy everything that I want to buy. Every once in a while, like I had a subscriber send me a couple tires he wanted me to try out, so I'm going to try those out here soon. But other than that, like, I don't get any deals. I don't want any deals. I don't want to be sponsored by anybody. I don't want nothing. I buy bikes and bike parts that I want to ride, that I want to try, and I can tell you guys about it. And then you guys can figure out if it works for you, or take whatever little bit you need from it, or if it's just pure entertainment and you're at home having a cocktail or a beverage like me. So I'm going to be perfectly honest, and I think that's one of the things that people like about my channel is I just tell things how I feel, and my opinions change. Full disclosure, so like my opinions change, and sometimes you get a new bike and you're excited about it, and 6 months down the road, you start figuring things out, and you might not like some things, or you might like some things better. So it's not a review channel. I'm just telling you how I feel at the time, and you guys can take it for whatever it's worth for you guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big fan of buying bikes of brands that I'm unfamiliar with or that I don't feel like I can resell, because bikes are not forever bikes for me. I swap bikes every 6 to 12 months. And if I keep one longer than that, I really like it. My Evil Following, I had 2 of them, kept those things forever. I loved it. My second Following, it was just kind of like I've already been here before, and I really wanted to try something new, so I probably shouldn't have bought the second one in hindsight. But I love that bike. It's still, to this day, my favorite bike I've ever owned, period. This one's growing on me, but yeah, I was a little bit nervous getting into this brand. So Scor, what is Scor? Like the first time my buddy told me about this bike, I had a buddy that was interested in buying it, and he ended up going with the Evil. Because at first he was asking me about it. I'm like, dude, what's a Scor? I've never even heard of this thing. I have no idea what it is. I was just like, I don't know. I wouldn't buy any bike that I don't know anything about, and I wouldn't buy any bike that I can't sell. And as I was looking at new bikes, I wanted to get into something with a little bit more travel and still keep it lightweight and everyday friendly. And so I was looking at the Stump Jumper. I was looking at the new High Tower. New High Tower is a little bit heavy. Honestly, the Yeti SB130 would probably be my ideal bike, or maybe a Pivot Switchblade. And I ended up watching the Pink Bike review on this, and that's when it really started to click for me. I was like, wow, maybe this bike is something I could ride. So I went down to Bauerhaus. Shout out to Jason, Thomas, Nick. Those guys are awesome. They always take such good care of me. I've been a long-time customer of theirs, and they do great work. Best mechanics in town. Love those guys. And Jason's actually been riding, the owner, he's actually been riding one. Thomas is building one up for himself too. So they're all starting to ride these. And Jason said he's been blown away by this bike. I trust what that guy says. So I told him to hold this one for me while I sell the Evil. And the Evil sold. So shout out to Jordan. It's on its way to him right now. I hope you enjoy that bike. That thing's sweet. You're going to love it. I'm still a huge Evil guy. So Scor 4060, what it is it has a adjustable flip chip right here. The way it's set up, it's 140, 150 in the front. They went with a pike. So I bought this as a GX build, which I wanted to get back to. $6,500, and the kit comes with full GX carbon cranks, code RSC brakes, which is they didn't skimp on the brakes, ultimate suspension front and rear. They didn't skimp on the suspension. Only thing I do not like is this bike yoke Divine. I really like it. Just feels terrible, honestly, compared to the Revive. It's just really slow actuation. Feels really cheap to me. I'm going to be swapping that for a Revive 2.0 or maybe a 1-up. Haven't decided, but DT Swiss XM 1700 wheel set, killer wheel set, 1850 grams. So great wheel set, 350 hubs, and it came with a 54 tooth engagement on it. So that's killer. I really like, for $6,500, full carbon frame, high end. Their only frame they offer. Biggest pet peeve is the different tiers of carbon that companies put out, like Specialized and Santa Cruz and Yeti and all those bikes that have Trek. You have your high-end S-Works carbon and then your low-tier stuff. I just can't stand that. Make one frame and make it the best you can, and people will buy it. So, yeah, stoked on that. That was one thing I really liked about this. The suspension was there. The frame was there. I had some parts I want to swap over. So 140 in the back, 150 in the front. The pike was an interesting choice, but for me, it kind of plays into what I want to do with this bike, and I think that was a really smart choice by Scor / they're owned by BMC. So this is kind of like Scor is kind of their enduro brand. BMC is like enduro brand. So Scor 4060. Now you flip this chip in the back, you go to 160, and then you do a 170 fork. So you basically have two bikes in one, which is like, that's when I was really like, wow, this bike could be the bike for me, because I'm insane and I can't make up my mind. I want a short travel bike and I also want a long travel bike. Like, I want my short travel bike, but I also want to ride the same bike. And I think that's why I could never own two bikes, because I'm a one bike guy. Like, I like to get on my bike every day and I want it to be the best bike that it can possibly be. And I want it to do well at everything. And BMCs, if you know anything about BMCs, I'm sure this thing's going to pedal amazing, because those things, I mean, BMC is a race company. I mean, they want to go fast, they want to win races, and I expect this to be no different. So I'm glad they went pike instead of Lyric, because I'm going to do, what I want to do with this is keep this wheel set down here, kind of as a heavier duty wheel set, throw some knobby tires on it, and then in the summertime, flip this chip, throw like a coil shock, 160 coil, grab a Zeb up front, boom, you got your park bike. Then you know, park season's over, flip the chip, go back to the Super Deluxe and the Pike. I'm going to do some lightweight wheels. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to get into those. And fast rolling tires. Boom, I got my everyday go rip the foothills bike, but yet it's still got long enough travel, capable enough to tackle some gnarly stuff. So that is why I went with this bike. I felt like it was really versatile. I am going to be honest, it does scare me, because there is a lot of people that still don't know about this brand. And if I, for some reason, don't like it, or 6 months down the road, I want to try something different, resale value would play a part in my decision. But I ended up, after looking at it, it looks unbelievably, the quality on it is unbelievable. I just think that cable routing's there. The one thing I don't like, press fit bottom bracket, I could have done with a threaded. But I read on their website that they specifically said they want to do a press fit because it actually allowed them to make the bike better, stiffer, whatever. I'd have to read it again, but they had their reasonings for staying with this. And with a company like BMC, I trust that they make a good decision like that. So, I mean, just from a maintenance standpoint, I like threaded, but, you know, not a big deal. I'll live with it. So, yeah, that's that. That's my plans. Like, it's just nice to have 2 bikes in one. So we'll get into the part spec here of what I'm going to do with this thing. So bars over here, I put my bars on from the Evil. I've got an NV stem. It's a 35 by 35 Deity Skywire bars. I cut them to 770. I might actually go to a 31.8 instead of a 35. Those bars are super stiff, and I want to get this. The plan for this bike is to get it in like the 28 pounds with pedals, and I think I can do that. I think for a 140, 150 travel bike, 28 pounds with pedals, I think this thing would be insane. So yeah, I'm going to start trying to cut weight as we start to build this up, but I got a pretty good start, and I have a feeling that website says 30 stock without pedals with GX, and with these parts I think we'll knock off some serious weight there. And it comes with heavy tires, Assegai Dissector XO Plus, and I went with a different tire spec. Yeah, let's get into it. This color too, it's like mint. Kind of reminds me of my Evil following the first one, protein powder, but it's gloss. Really love it. So, okay, getting into the parts here, Topo Chicos. So I am going with Shimano on this build. I'm usually a SRAM guy. The main reason I really like, so I'm going XTR Cassette 10 to 51. So I really like, this cassette doesn't last very long. It's just something I'm gonna have to deal with compared to SRAM. Just have to replace it more often, but I really like the gapping on this cassette way more than SRAM. I don't like how SRAM does 42, 52. That 10 tooth jump, I'm just not a fan of. I really like how instead of SRAM goes 52, 42, 36, and this goes 39, 45, 51. So there's no more, the biggest jump is like 6 teeth, and as opposed to 10 teeth. So really like that. I end up using the 45 a lot more than rarely ever have to use the 51. So that 39 and the 45, just the cadence feels so much better to me than the SRAM cassette. So while running a 32 tooth chainring in the front. So yeah, main reason I'm going Shimano is for this guy. And if you guys know, I'm super OCD, so everything has to match, so you can kind of figure out what brakes we're going with, but we'll get there. Cranks, bottom bracket, Shimano, press fit, whatever. Cranks, XTR 170s. These are, I think, the most gorgeous cranks on the planet. They're stunning. I like that you don't have to put little rubber bits on the end of these. I think those look stupid when you run carbon cranks and you have to put those on. But yeah, XTR cranks, 170. They're really lightweight. I'm waiting for one part, so should be here tomorrow or the next day. I'm doing a wolf tooth chain ring for this. They're a lot lighter than the Shimano chain rings, and it's going to be a 32. So the 32 chain ring up front. Let's go with derailleur. I usually run XTR due to no one can get anything right now. I just happened to find the XT, so I went XT. XT derailleur, and I kind of like the black. I think the black looks better than the chrome. So I think that'll look good. So I don't know, might swap that for XTR later. I think it's like a 40 gram difference, 30 grams, 40 grams. XT shifter I had lying around. I'll probably go XTR. I think the XTR feels a little bit better, but I like to keep a backup because have had reliability issues with the Shimano shifters. Let's see here. Brakes. Going XT brakes. I spec EV mounts. I think these are just really good looking brakes. I love the black color, kind of the black glossy finish. It's weird, the caliper is actually silver, which is kind of interesting. So it looks like an XTR caliper, and then you got your XT. I mean, it's XT, but they looks like they use the same unit. And I think from what I've read, weight is the same as the XTRs. So not sure what the difference is. If anyone knows, drop it in the comments. So XT brakes paired to XT rotors. This bike came with 200 rotors front and rear, and that's overkill for this bike, especially in the short travel mode. I just went 180, 180, trying to keep the weight down. Those are the XT Ice Techs. My next wheel set will probably be center lock, and then I'll probably go XTR center lock to shave some more weight. XT chain, Hyperglide Plus. When you run Shimano, I really think you have to run everything Shimano. Other than the chain ring, I probably should have got a Shimano chain ring, but I was trying to save some weight. But yeah, XT chain, run everything together, Hyperglide Plus, shifts under load a lot better than SRAM does. It's one thing I do like about it. Dropper, I already talked about the dropper. I'm going to swap that for a Bike Yoke 2.0, or I'm going to swap it for a 1-Up. That's a 160 right now. Probably just keep it 160. I'm going to try this. I usually run Wolf Tooth dropper levers, but Thomas recommended the new Shimano. I don't know if it's new, but the Shimano dropper lever actually feels pretty nice. So I'm going to give that a try. If I don't like it, I'm going to go back to the Wolf Tooth. The Wolf Tooths are so good, but we'll give it a try since I got a Shimano theme going on here. Grips, bringing over my Ergon GD1 Slims, the factory frost color. Ooh, I need the moss colored grips for these. Oh yeah, they make these in a moss color. Ordering it right after this, so these will be backups. Ergon GD1s, I'm gonna go with that moss color. That just hit me. That would look sick. Bottle cage, I got my Specialized one. It's black. You can put the multi-tool. Oh yeah, I won't need the multi-tool, so check this out. Frame storage. I don't even know how this opens. Oh, there we go. Yeah, frame storage, which is the one thing I miss about my stump jumper is the swap box. That was the greatest thing ever. So this is killer. I'm excited to use this because I love riding packless when I can. One bottle and throw everything in the storage. Oh, I see how this goes in. It just slides in like that. Cool. That's killer. So I'm going to swap this out for a carbon cage. I'm on a weight weenie kick right now. See how light we can get this thing. Start shaving grams everywhere we can. I'll probably cut the steer tube down too. After I'm just kind of wait and see how I feel body position wise and get it set because I don't want to ruin that fork. Speaking of the fork, it's not the new pike, because the new pike doesn't come in a 150 mil travel, and this is a 150. So it's nice because I'm a light guy. I like the pike. The pike is good for me even at 150. I don't feel any flex. I had it on my stump jumper and it worked out fine for me. So yeah, if I had to buy a new one, I'd have to go Lyric or 36, and I don't know. This is kind of a sweet spot because the weight on it is unbeatable for how I love that they do the 35 mil stanchions and you can still keep that weight down. So really happy they went with not the latest pike, last year's or whatever. Saddle for right now came with the WTB Silverado, which I love the saddle. I've had it before. This is the Team 1 titanium, super lightweight, 218 grams. I'm definitely gonna I put my carbon rail Ergon on my gravel bike. So I'm actually probably going to order another one of those because that thing was killer. It's like 150 or 60 grams. So that's another, eighth of a pound or whatever. You start adding all this stuff up, pretty big savings at the end if you start adding everything that you can. So, but this is a killer saddle for right now. I will swap it out for a lighter weight carbon one in the future, but still a good weight for what it is, and for coming on this bike at that price point. Stoked on it. So yeah, then just, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Oh, wheels, tires, duh, my favorite part. Shit. I've been running the Wicked Will lately in the rear. So the Schwalbe, this is the Wicked Will in the Speed Grip 29 2.4. I'm loving this thing. This is my new favorite rear tire. Micro spline on here. Really stoked that they put the 54 tooth upgrade in this thing right from the factory. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. It feels like it's 36 or 54, but it feels like 54. Yeah, I'm loving this as the rear tire. This thing's fast, Speed Grip. I'd like to get it in the lighter Super Ground casing on the next time around, but they didn't have any available, so I went Super Trail. Been running that for a few weeks now, loving it. Trying to keep with the lightweight theme. I really like the Magic Mary Super Trail Ultra Soft, but I'm going to save that for when I put it into enduro mode with the coil shock and the Zeb. Then I'll run the Purple Mary. But I'm going back to this. So this is the newer Knobby Nick. They updated the casings just like they did on the other ones. 67 TPI casing. This is a Super Ground in the Speed Grip. Really wish they would make the orange soft in a Super Ground. This came in at 890 grams, which is insane for how much traction it has. I mean, it's not a minion by any means, especially in the blue compound. I might swap this out for an orange soft Super Trail if I just don't feel like it's got enough bite for me, but I'm able to run at a little bit lower pressure. Feels a lot better than the last time I rode the Nick. I think the casings made a huge improvement, and the fact that they brought the weight down. This tire setup, Nick 2.4, it actually measures over a 2.4. It's like a 2.425 to be exact. So it's over 2.4. The wheel measured right at 2.4. So this is a 6 setup. Might swap to the orange if I just don't feel the confidence that I need. But I've taken it out for a couple rides now, and it's good. It's not a DHR2. It's not a DHF by any means. It's not a NASA guy. It's Dissector-ish without the transition. Dissector probably has a little bit more grip on the edge. This is a little faster. This has better braking. But this is good. I'm happy. I'm happy with the new Schwalbe updates. So yeah, there she is. Yeah, sorry, I told you this is going to be a long one. So I'll probably have a video up next week of it all put together and then get a ride on it. I'll take the GoPro with me on the ride, and we'll do some live impressions. And yeah, so there it is. There's the new bike. There's the Scor 4060. This thing's sweet. It's really growing on me. At first, I just was really unsure at first. I kind of didn't love the looks. But you know what? I'm a huge fan of low slung shocks. I know this thing's going to handle well. Coming from BMC, I know it's going to climb well. It's going to climb efficiently and fast. We're going to try and make this thing super lightweight. So yeah, I'm actually really excited just to try something different, and I'm really stoked to not have 157 stupid boost. I would like the threaded BB, but you know, I can live with that. I love the fact that I'm back on a 31.6 dropper. That was the one thing that bugged me about my Evils, is for a guy that changes his bike so much, it's nice to have the standard Boost 148, you know, standard dropper size, because like I'm always swapping parts out, and when I go to try and sell them, it has to go to an Evil guy. And now I can, you know, sell stuff to a lot bigger group of people. So I love to be out of the proprietary stuff. Chainstay on this is super short, 433. I'll take the 3 millimeters longer than my Evil if it means that I have standard boost. A lot more wheel options. I was going to get into what wheels I'm going to get, but I haven't decided. I'm looking at maybe the Bird wheels, 1,340 grams. Pretty insane for the TR27s, or thinking about maybe possibly doing like a Revol SL wheel set from Specialized. So looking at something like that. I probably won't do Envies again, but we're definitely going to go lightweight. I'm going to go sub sub 1,600 grams for sure. I'm going to try and do sub 1,500 grams, but I don't want to get them too light to where they can't really take a beating. So that's where those birds kind of came into play. So I'm thinking hard about those. So we'll see what I end up with, but going to be a killer build to start out with, and then we'll see what it weighs, and then we'll get nerdy and see how nerdy we can get with this thing. So hey, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. I never ask, but you know, subscribe, thumbs up, helps me out a little bit. I want to keep bringing you guys this stuff. It's just fun for me. I like doing it. I'm just a bike nerd, and I love trying new bikes. I love swapping parts, and I love tires, if you haven't figured it out yet. Anyways, hey, thanks guys. I appreciate you. Cheers. It's hot as crap outside, but I'm gonna try and go ride here soon. Hopefully in the next couple days. So, all right, cool. Thanks.